In the vast world of fables, stories often carry lessons that remain relevant through time. One such tale is that of a clever fox and a tempting bunch of grapes. This story, simple yet profound, has been told for generations to illustrate how we often react when things don't go our way. As you read, notice how the fox's behavior reflects emotions we all experience: frustration, pride, and denial. Let's dive into this classic tale of The Fox and the Grapes. Afternoon, in a quiet countryside far from the noise of villages or towns, a clever fox was wandering through the vineyards in search of something to eat. The sun blazed above his head, and the dust clung to his paws as he padded through the dry grass. He had been roaming the land for hours and was growing increasingly hungry. His stomach rumbled, and his tongue lolled from his mouth in exhaustion. As he moved along the edge of a vineyard, he noticed a lush grapevine climbing up a tall trellis, its leaves wide and green, offering a cool shade beneath. But what truly caught the fox's attention were the grapes. Hanging in thick clusters, the grapes glowed in the sunlight, large, round, and glistening with dew, even in the heat. Their deep purple colour suggested they were ripe and sweet, perhaps the most delicious grapes in the entire vineyard. The fox's eyes sparkled with desire. "Ah," he said to himself, licking his lips, "those grapes would be the perfect treat to satisfy my hunger. Sweet, juicy, refreshing, just what I need." He quickly stood up on his hind legs, trying to reach the lowest bunch. But no matter how far he stretched, the grapes were too high. He dropped back to all fours, narrowed his eyes, and stepped back a few paces. With a determined look, he ran toward the vine and leapt with all his strength. His body arched in the air, paws reaching upward. But he missed. He landed with a thud and a cloud of dust. Not one grape had been touched. Shaking the dirt from his coat, the fox was not discouraged. "I was just warming up," he said aloud, though no one was listening. "This time I'll get them for sure." He stepped back even farther this time, judged the distance carefully, and with another powerful leap, he launched himself into the air. Again he fell short. His paw brushed a leaf, but the grapes remained high and untouched. The fox growled under his breath. He looked around for something to stand on, a rock, a branch, anything to give him an edge, but there was nothing nearby. The ground was flat and bare. Still, he refused to give up. He tried several more times, each jump weaker than the last as fatigue set in. The sun beat down, his legs ached, and his throat grew dry. Sweat soaked his fur, and his heart pounded in his chest. But no matter how hard he tried, the grapes remained just out of reach. Finally, the fox collapsed under the shade of a tree near the vine. He panted heavily, staring up at the grapes, his eyes full of frustration. He hated to admit defeat, but he could no longer ignore the truth. He simply could not reach them. After a few moments of silence, the fox stood up, brushed himself off, and glanced one last time at the grapes swaying gently above him. "Humph," he said with a snort, raising his nose into the air. "They're probably sour anyway, not worth my effort. Who would want such bitter, unripe grapes?" With that, he turned his back on the vine and walked away, his tail flicking behind him. But even as he left, a trace of disappointment lingered in his eyes. He had failed, and rather than admit it, he tried to pretend the grapes had never been worth wanting. This fable, originally told by Aesop, remains one of the most well-known and often quoted stories in the world. The fox's reaction gave rise to the expression sour grapes, which describes the act of pretending that something you desire is not actually worth having, simply because you failed to obtain it.